SDG9, Industry, Innovation and Infrastructure.
Sustainable Development Goal 9 is officially defined as the mission to build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation. These elements, infrastructure, industry, and innovation, are recognized as crucial for promoting sustainable development and ensuring a more resilient future for all.
Absolutely. And the unique power of SDG 9 is its wide ranging influence. Our analysis of the entire 2030 agenda shows that SDG 9 has the strongest positive impact and multiplier effects on improving progress in other SDGs compared to the other 16 goals. It acts as a cornerstone of economic growth and prosperity, linking closely to digital transformation, economic resilience, and the green transition.
That interconnection is why focusing on this goal is so strategic. The goal itself aims to unleash dynamic and competitive economic forces that generate income and employment. Furthermore, fostering innovation, particularly in sustainable energy solutions and smart infrastructure, provides countries with chances to bypass conventional, unsustainable growth trajectories.
While the potential is huge, we must acknowledge the current situation. At the halfway point to 2030, the world is at great risk of missing the SDGs, compounded by geopolitical instability, the climate crisis, and the lingering impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. For SDG 9 specifically, the world is clearly lagging behind, with most countries recording negative or stagnant trends across all industry-related targets. Focusing on the infrastructure pillar, Target 9.1, the objective is to develop quality, reliable, sustainable, and resilient infrastructure, including trans-border infrastructure, to support human well-being and economic development, with the focus on affordable access for everyone. However, weak infrastructure networks are a significant obstacle to realizing this goal in many poor nations.
Resilience is key, especially considering climate change. We need to implement climate-resilient infrastructure. CRI means systems are planned, designed, built, and operated to anticipate and adapt to changing climate conditions, ensuring continuity of essential services like energy, communication, and water, even when climate events cause disruptions. Infrastructure projects must also incorporate sustainability and climate adaptation measures to ensure long-term resilience.
Building CRI often requires a higher upfront investment, which is a massive barrier. The global infrastructure investment deficit is projected to reach $15 trillion by 2040, disproportionately affecting regions like Africa, Asia, and Latin America. Low and middle-income countries, LMICs, face structural challenges like inadequate financing mechanisms.
That's why international support, Target 9.A, is vital. Official international support for infrastructure, Indicator 9.A.1, is meant to facilitate resilient infrastructure development in developing countries through enhanced financial, technological, and technical support. Evidence shows that greater official international support for infrastructure shows strong linkages with SDG 5, gender equality, SDG 2, zero hunger, and SDG 8, decent work and economic growth. We also see that strengthening regulatory frameworks in emerging markets is critical for attracting private capital, with research suggesting each improvement can increase infrastructure public-private partnership investments by approximately $488 million. The second pillar is industrialization, Target 9.2. It is pivotal in generating jobs and diversifying the economy. The goal is to promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization and significantly raise industry's share of employment and GDP, aiming to double its share in least developed countries, LDCs, by 2030.
But the progress is highly uneven. While some progress is evident in structural change in low-income economies, the growth hasn't been sustained. For example, African LDCs are critically off course, achieving only 9.1% of the target share of manufacturing in GDP in 2021, compared to the 24.2% goal. Furthermore, global manufacturing employment never recovered from the financial crisis and is declining as a proportion of total employment, illustrating jobless growth in the sector.
We need to look at specific drivers. Increasing manufacturing value added per capita, Indicator 9.2.1-C, stands out as having the strongest linkages with other SDGs. It shows the highest positive correlations with 11 out of the 16 other goals, making it the prime driver of socioeconomic development across the entire SDG agenda.
To achieve that growth sustainably, we must focus on Target 9.4, upgrading all industries for sustainability. This means retrofitting industries to adopt clean and environmentally sound technologies and industrial processes. The good news is that manufacturing activity and CO2 emissions are showing signs of decoupling. Since reaching a peak in 2014, the manufacturing sector has witnessed a gradual reduction in CO2 emissions intensity, even despite continued growth.
Innovation, Target 9.5, is the third essential pillar. The goal is to enhance scientific research and substantially increase public and private research and development, R&D, spending and the number of researchers per million people. The incorporation of digital technologies such as IoT, AI, and data analytics can significantly improve efficiency, leading to sustainable decision-making and innovation.
But innovation performance is drastically hindered in low and middle income nations due to restricted commercialization of research, insufficient funding, and limited R&D capability. Worldwide, innovation is heavily centralized in high income nations. As a stark example, sub-Saharan Africa contributes under 0.5% of worldwide R&D investment, while accommodating approximately 14% of the world's population.
We are making headway on connectivity, Target 9.c. The indicator for this target, the proportion of the population covered by a mobile network, has improved significantly. By 2017, 95% of the planet-wide population was covered by a mobile cellular signal.
However, the challenge of universal access to information and communications technology remains significant. Estimates suggest that only 57% global internet use was reached by the end of 2020, and only 23% in least developed countries, thereby missing Target 9C by a wide margin. Millions of people are still unable to access the internet due to cost and coverage issues. This expanding digital disparity undermines the potential for innovation to be inclusive.